The colonel's laughter echoed across the training field like a whip crack, sharp and dismissive. "That's what you brought to my range?" he mocked, eyeing the scuffed M24 in her hands. The soldiers around him smirked, whispering about the girl who thought she could prove herself with an old beat-up rifle. Her face stayed calm, but her fingers tightened on the stock, the way someone clutches a secret that the world isn't ready for. And in that moment, the colonel had no idea. His arrogance was about to crumble with the sound of a single shot. "Stay with me," because what happened next silenced an entire regiment. The sun burned down on the dusty training ground, heat rippling off the earth like a mirage. Recruits stood in lines, some proud, some nervous, all pretending not to be watching. But their eyes couldn't leave her. She was smaller than most, her uniform a little loose on her frame, her boots scuffed from long miles. To them, she didn't look like a soldier who belonged. She looked like an outsider. But outsiders often carry stories they don't tell, scars they don't show, and skills they keep hidden until they matter most. And today it mattered. The colonel strutted like a man used to commanding silence. His medals glistened in the sun, each one proof of battles fought and victories earned. Yet beneath the surface of that authority lived pride, the kind that blinds men to truths staring them in the face. He pointed to the targets set half a mile away, thin silhouettes swaying in the heat. "Go ahead," he sneered. "Show us what that relic can do. Maybe we'll even clap for you if you manage to hit the dirt around it." The laughter stung like barbed wire, but she didn't flinch. Instead, she slowly inhaled, her eyes narrowing, her heartbeat steadying, as though the world around her was fading into silence. Her hands caressed the rifle like an old friend. The M24 wasn't new. It wasn't shiny. Its barrel had scratches, the stock worn smooth where countless hands had held it before. But it was hers, and it had history, more than the colonel could guess. She laid down on the ground, the dust kissing her uniform, her cheek pressed lightly against the stock. Through the scope, the target sharpened into clarity, a distant blur for most, but to her it felt near enough to touch. She let the colonel's mockery fade into the wind, her focus narrowing to the heartbeat between breaths. The soldiers around her grew quiet, curiosity replacing their smirks. Something in the way she moved, in the way her body stilled, made them hesitate to laugh further. The air seemed heavier, as though even the wind dared not disturb her concentration. She adjusted her aim slightly, her finger resting gently against the trigger, not forcing, not rushing, just waiting for the perfect moment. Then, with the calm of someone who had done this countless times, she exhaled and squeezed. The crack of the shot tore through the silence. Dust puffed from the barrel, the echo bouncing against the training walls. For a second, no one breathed. Then came the sound. The faint, sharp clang of metal kissed dead center. The target didn't just fall, it folded, swinging back violently. From the force of a direct hit straight to its heart. A perfect dead-eye mark. A shot so precise, so surgical, that silence blanketed the ground heavier than any explosion ever could. The colonel froze. His smirk vanished, his laughter dead on his lips. His eyes, used to measuring men by their strength and their weapons, now saw something that unsettled him. The mark on the target was undeniable, a wound of precision that spoke louder than his medals ever could. Around him, the soldiers gasped, their whispers turning into stunned silence. The colonel swallowed hard, for the first time in years unsure of his authority. She rose slowly, brushing the dust from her sleeves, her rifle resting easily in her hands. No pride, no arrogance, just a quiet certainty that needed no applause. She glanced at the colonel, her eyes calm and unwavering, as if to say, "Respect is not demanded, it is earned, one shot at a time." That look pierced him deeper than the bullet had pierced the steel. For a long moment, the field remained silent. Then, one soldier clapped, another joined. And soon, the entire line of recruits erupted in applause, not for defiance, not for spectacle, but for truth. They had witnessed something pure, something unshakable, a reminder that skill, Discipline and heart often outweigh rank and mockery. The colonel's face hardened, not in anger, but in something rarer, humility. For the first time, he understood that greatness doesn't always shine in medals or polished rifles. Sometimes it hides in quiet hands and steady eyes, waiting for the moment to reveal itself. He stepped forward, his boots heavy in the dirt, his voice rougher than before. "Soldier," he said, quieter now, almost respectful. "Where did you learn to shoot like that?" She paused, the weight of memories pressing on her shoulders. Memories of long nights under foreign skies, of protecting those who never knew her name, of practicing alone when no one believed. She gave no speech, no story, just a simple answer that carried the weight of every sacrifice she had ever made, from never missing when it mattered. The colonel's jaw tightened, his chest rising with something between shame and admiration. Slowly, he nodded, not as a commander, not as a man above her, but as one soldier acknowledging another. And in that silent nod, the balance shifted. She was no longer the outsider with a cheap rifle. She was the Deadeye, respected, undeniable, unforgettable. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the ground, the soldiers dispersed, still buzzing with whispers about the girl who silenced a colonel. But she remained for a moment, her hand resting on the worn rifle, her gaze fixed on the distant horizon. She wasn't here for applause. She wasn't here for recognition. She was here for something deeper, for the quiet satisfaction of knowing that when the moment came, she did not falter. And sometimes that's the only mark that matters. Because respect, like a bullet, finds its mark, not through noise, not through pride, but through precision, patience, and truth. And once it does, it can never be erased.